What is up, Panther Nation? How you guys doing? I was asked to give you guys some playoff predictions by one of the fans. I forgot who it was, but that was during the last live stream that we did on this channel. And by the way, if you're new, please hit subscribe and hit that bell so you know when I go live and when I am going to post a new video. So I do have plans for the off season as far as videos, and I think some of you may like it, some of you may not. We'll see. Um, but I'll announce that after the Super Bowl of what those plans are going to be for the channel. Um, and we'll also talk about the playoffs as well in a live stream after the Super Bowl. So probably the a few days afterwards, within that much time, is when I'd like to do that. So let's get to the playoffs. Uh, predictions. The reason why I've held off for as long as I have is because this has been the most 50-50 type uh, playoffs I've seen in a long time that I can remember uh, as far as chances to win. Uh, I've been looking at a lot of these teams and I'm just not sure on some of them. Uh, so, let's start with the wild card. I expected the results there. Uh, I expected the Colts to beat the Texans. I expected who was it? I expected the Eagles to pull off something, you know. So I mean nothing new as far as wild card is concerned. I expected those results. Chargers, yeah. So here's the deal. For today's predictions, for the divisional round, I had Dallas losing, Patriots winning. I mean, why not, right? Why not? Um, so going forward from here, this is where I'm going to start making the predictions. Is championship round. That's where I'm going to start my predictions. I've chosen that for a very specific reason because I wanted to watch, in particular, the Eagles and and the Colts to see what they're about. I see they got on their winning streaks. I see they pulled off a bunch of wins, but what I needed to see was how would they fare against a legitimate playoff team. Based on the pieces that they have and the coaching staffs that they have and what they have now. You know, uh, versus what they did in the regular season. And I wasn't completely confident to pick anybody, to be honest. Um, the only two teams I really felt confident about were the Rams and the Patriots. And to me, those two teams look like the most consistent, fully loaded teams I've seen so far in the playoffs. The Saints would be number three for me. And honestly, the Eagles are still loaded, so I would rank them number four. So going for going from the championship playoff predictions. And we're going to start with the game that's happening right now, currently, as I'm live streaming. I'm picking the Eagles over the Saints. Now, this is a tough decision for me because both teams are fully loaded, but the Eagles are just playing with heart. I watched the first half of that game, and I didn't want to watch the second half because I would not be able to make a fair pick. But I got to say, the Eagles look like they're in control and look like they're going to win. Um, I feel like in the fourth quarter, that's going when it's going to happen. Now, you move forward. You got the Eagles and Rams NFC Championship. Eagles and Rams. Um, the Rams are fully loaded, but the Eagles look like they could pull off another run. So, um, this is going to be an interesting pick for me because, uh, you just have to really watch how the Eagles play. They've got a lot of weapons. They've got a lot of abilities to keep the game moving, really, uh, in their favor. And it's challenging to pick against them. It really, really is. But I'm going to pick the Rams. I just feel like the Rams are a complete team. I feel like this is their year. You know, you look at their 53-man roster, you look at what they've got uh, healthy on the field right now. You look at how they're playing in all three areas of the ball. They look like a complete team right now. And honestly, they use a lot of misdirection. And they move people around. They get people involved. And it's kind of unusual to see that from a Rams team because of what they've showed in the past. But honestly, this is the best Rams team I've seen since Kurt Warner was running the team. And that's saying a lot because I don't give out accolades to other teams very often. But this this one seems like they are the best since Kurt Warner was quarterback and won that Super Bowl. Um, so Rams in the Super Bowl. So now we come down to the Pats and the Chiefs. And normally, if the Pats are at home, I would pick the Pats because that gives them at least a 5% advantage right out of the gate. Just right out of the gate. You can't discount that home field advantage for the Pats because that stadium is just impossible to play in. Plus, the refs let them get away with a whole bunch of garbage, which they should not be allowed to get away with. For example, pass interference. I noticed at least a half a dozen of those missed calls. Holding calls on the lines. There were a few of those. Um, you know, there's at least a couple more penalties I could name that were not called. And this is your typical New England game. This is exactly what you expect. Because let's just be fair here. New England is just not gonna come out there in Foxborough and not find a way to win. You know, it's I recognize the team's strengths, I recognize their abilities, but I also recognize their ability to cheat. And yes, I said the word cheat. So for those that are Patriots fans, debate me if you want to, but we all know what happened. We all know what happened, guys. Spygate, Deflategate, come on. Proven cheating. So, considering the fact that it's not in Foxborough and it's in KC this time, that evens the odds. So this could easily go 50-50 here. It could go either way. And I'm telling you, KC's got enough power to go against New England for 4 whole quarters. I've seen what KC is capable of. We all saw it on Saturday night. We all saw it. They just dominated. I mean, what more do you want? What more are you looking for from the Chiefs? They've got so many weapons and so much depth. They could actually make a run at it. And honestly, I'm going to call for the Chiefs upset here. I'm going to call for it because I think it's possible. Uh, you know, the last time they played each other, it was within 7 points, so it's hard to tell how that game is going to turn out. It really is. Um, but I'm going to tell you, there will be some calls on both teams during that game. So it's going to be fair penalty calling. It's going to be fair and balanced in a lot of ways, which gives KC the advantage. Um, because they find ways to keep those chains moving, and it's amazing to me. You watch some of those plays on Saturday night, and just watch how they did it. It's remarkable. They pulled some plays out of their playbook I never thought they would use. So it was it was very entertaining to watch. They just laid the wood in KC, and I have to say I'm impressed. I am legitimately impressed. The Colts just did not stand a chance in that game. They did not. They had Andrew Luck on his heels the entire game. He just did not look like he was ready to play at all. He started making some bad decisions under pressure. Like the old Andrew Luck that we used to know for about 4 or 5 years with a bad offensive line. So there you go. I mean, when Andrew Luck faces really, really good pass rushers, that line starts to fold. And around the third or fourth quarter, they start getting really, really tired. And that's when you start to see some bad throws by Andrew Luck because he's trying to get that ball out of there. But there's also the Andrew Luck that when he gets enough time, that extra fraction of a second, he can get that ball out of there and into somebody's hands. So you know, but KC's secondary was so good in that game that it was a dominating win from start to finish. Now, KC versus the Rams Super Bowl. That's what I'm predicting. And I gotta say, Chiefs win it all. Chiefs win it all. Calling it now. Patrick Mahomes is incredible. This guy deserves an MVP, in my opinion, for this year. A lot of people are saying the same thing. The drum beat is high. Everyone thinks it. They saw the throws against the Colts. They saw what he's capable of. They see his ability to extend plays and just the accuracy, the incredible accuracy. I, Panthers fans, y'all are gonna hate me for this reference, but he was channeling his inner Matt Ryan with his accuracy. I mean, it was just insane. I haven't seen accurate throws like that in a long time. It's been a while. And not only that, does he sidearm the throws? He sidearms the throws around the defenders and somehow manages to complete them accurately. You can't compete with that. I don't. I don't see any way that you can accurately defend against that. No matter how good your coverage is. I think the Rams will be in for a test on Super Bowl day. I legit think so. There's no way that they will be able to shut him down completely. He will find a way to relight the fire in the Chiefs, and that'll be it, I think. And as far as the Chiefs and Pats game, it's going to be an absolute shootout. It's going to come down to field position. It's going to come down to who makes the least mistakes, causes the least penalties, um, and turnovers. Turnovers are a major factor in that matchup. They were the last time, too. And the Chiefs made just enough errors that the Pats were just able to capitalize on it. And if you know anything about the Pats, they are the kings of taking advantage of your mistakes and turning them into points. Every time. I don't know how they managed to do it, but somehow they do. Uh, so it's gonna be a bloody fight there in KC. It really, really is. Uh, I think even if the Saints were to beat the Eagles today, they just they have enough in the tank for 3 quarters against the Rams, but not four, in my opinion. The Rams just have everything you could want in the NFC right now. Everything you could want. They're the example to follow right now, offensively. If you look at the scheme that he is running right now, the offensive coordinator for the Rams, it's it's untouchable. I don't know how he does some of the things that he does, Goff, with those plays, but it's remarkable. And I think, I'm not gonna put a score prediction on any of these games, but if I was going to, I'd say the Pats and Chiefs game is going to be up in the 40s, probably. Uh, they both have good defenses, but they're both going to get tired. You know, you got two elite quarterbacks here facing off against each other. It's like Clash of the Titans going against each other. You got, you know, they can only handle these quarterbacks for so long. But here's the difference. Brady, when you put him in third and long situations, and I'm not talking about third and 5, I'm talking about third and 7 and 8, he becomes a lot more susceptible to throw a bad pass. And that's, well, I shouldn't say a bad pass, but I should say a decent pass rather than a great pass. You know what I mean? Um, and if you watch some of his passes during the Chargers game, they put some pressure on him, but it wasn't enough. You know, but in those situations where they put him in a third and long late in the game, excuse my yawn, long weekend, but he had trouble with finding open guys in third and long. And I think the Pats are going to have to address that in the offseason. And I think they'll address that by changing out veteran players and their wide receiver core. It is possible. Now, as for the question of will Tom Brady retire, I've been getting that question a few times too. Um, I don't think he will. I don't think he will. Yeah, he's been in the league for this long, and he still has that burning desire to go out there and go after another trophy. You know, and chances are pretty good he's going to be back in since he's physically able to do this still, and he's still mentally sharp. So, the fact that he's back in the playoffs for his eighth straight attempt at a Lombardi trophy really tells you something about his will and his drive and his physicality still being there. So I think he's still going to be around next year. So long as New England is in the playoffs, nobody is safe going after that Lombardi. Nobody. And I've said that several times, and I'll see it again today. Nobody's safe. Not the Rams, not the Saints, not the Eagles, not even the Chiefs are safe right now. So long as they're still in. And this is what how many AFC Championship games have they actually been appearing in the past like 8 years? It's been ridiculous. It's been absolutely ridiculous. I think there was a number, but I forgot what it was. But this is, I haven't seen anyone besides the Chiefs in the AFC that could really battle them for four whole quarters and possibly pull it off in the playoffs so far. The Ravens couldn't do it. Chargers couldn't do it. The Steelers, if they were in, could do it, but they're not playing well right now, and they missed the playoffs. So you got the Texans in. They can't do it. You've got the Colts, who I thought might have had a shot. They can't do it. I mean, who does that leave you with? You got KC. KC is the only one I think that can go all four and properly battle them all the way through. And you saw it in the regular season game. They can do it. They've proven they can do it. The question is, will they do it? That's the question on everybody's mind for next week. Can they do it? Or will they do it? Yeah, will they do it? Not can they do it? And I feel like on the NFC side, The Rams may be the closest that could possibly battle them all 4 quarters and match them, but the Eagles managed to do it once, but I don't think they can do it twice. It's risky throwing them in against the Pats again for another Super Bowl because I think the Pats are even more motivated now that they lost that game to the Eagles the first time last year, and I think they're going to be pissed off. They're going to be ready to go, and that's going to be a bloody battle in the Super Bowl, and that'll get some views. But my question to everybody here is that what we want representing the NFL? Is it? Are these two teams the ones we want representing the NFL? Think about that. Because you saw how Philadelphia trashed their downtown area after they won a Super Bowl. Is that the type of fans you want representing the NFL as your Super Bowl winning team? Or do you want decent fans? And I'll give it to the Pats fans. They have never destroyed property. I'll give them that. They have never done it once. Well, while during their Super Bowl runs and their trophy celebrations. They have never done it once. However, their fans are the most arrogant ones I've ever encountered. And egotistical as well. And granted, you have the right to be slightly egotistical. Not slightly. If you got that many trophies, I'll give you that. But you don't have the right to be mean. You don't have the right to be nasty. Call other teams' players names. And prick. And that's my main mission with this YouTube channel as well, is try to ensure that our fan base stays genuine, calm, peace loving, even when we're losing, even when chaos is ensuing, like right now. All I'm asking is that people chill out, just chill. You have full right to complain to the front office for making dumb mistakes. Yeah, you have the right to be angry, but keep it civil. That's all I'm asking, folks. Keep it civil. Because I've seen comments out the wazoo of people just being absolutely nasty. And I'll grant you, I put some emotion into my comments, but nothing compared to what these people are doing. Tone it down a notch, please. That's all I'm asking. Everybody here on this channel is fine. I'm pretty sure. I haven't seen any comments that are mean or nasty or anything like that. I haven't. So I think you guys are good here at the channel. But so other social media, that's where things get a little bit hairy with that. But getting back to my point, do you really want Philadelphia or New England representing the NFL? I don't. I don't. And then you got the Saints, who will never let us hear the end of it if they win too, in the modern era with Drew Brees. I don't want that either. and I'm sure you guys don't either. So, who do you root for? Rams and Chiefs. That's my take on this. You can root for whoever you like, but that's the two teams I think have the best shot, and I want to root for. So, yeah, that's getting down to basics and what I've seen so far. That's what I wanted. Yeah. Again, you guys have your own opinions. You guys have your own teams that you root for, probably. When you're not rooting for us, in the playoffs when we don't make it, and that's cool. Everybody has that. Everybody has that. They won't secretly admit it, but they do. And I don't call that bandwagoning. I just call it being supportive of teams that you think you would like to see win and represent the league. Uh, I don't believe in bandwagoning. I've said that before and I'll say it again. I do not believe in bandwagoning. Um, but I think, this front office is doing these players dirty. The league is targeting us. And I won't even get into that. I'll make a separate video on that, I guess, if people want to see that. But yeah, I've got some thoughts on that, but I've never been brave enough to share those on the channel though. But that's where I'm at right now. So yeah, Rams and Chiefs Super Bowl. Chiefs win it all. There you go. Um, what are your thoughts on this? Leave some comments down below. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to hit that like button and support the team and support this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching and keep pounding.